Alright, so I'm going to be doing questions 15 to 18 here. So we have here orders of operations with integers, and you must remember whenever you are doing orders of operation, you have to follow BEDMAS: brackets, exponents to division, multiplication. This here is in the order that you see them from left to right, and then addition and subtraction again from the order from left to right, the order that you see them. So looking at 15 here, I have -5 divided by -5, which is in brackets, subtract by 3. So let's work with our brackets first. So I have -5 divided by -5. Okay. So 5 divided by 5, that's just 1. And then negative divided by negative, that's going to give me a positive. Okay. And then let's write what's outside. So I have subtract by 3. Okay, so I have now +1 subtract by 3. Okay, 1 subtract by 3, just taking out that bracket there. So signs are different, and you could see that here because my 1 is a plus, and then I'm going to subtract by 3 here. Okay, so I'm going to actually just add the brackets back here because I remember the way I told you is to put on the brackets. And you see here that this 3 is a positive 3. So it's +1 subtract by +3. Now the rule with subtraction is that you first change this subtraction into an addition. And then, I'm just going to grab my eraser here, you're going to change the sign of the second integer, so this +3, you're going to switch it. So it was a positive, so I'm now going to change it into a negative. So now I have +1 add by -3. Now signs are different, so you have to find the difference between 1 and 3. So 3 subtract by 1, well, that's just going to give me 2. And then you take the sign of the bigger number. The sign of the bigger number is this 3, this negative. So that's why my answer will be negative. And the answer then is D. Okay, for 16 here, I have -6 times by 2, which is in brackets, and then you have to divide that by 3. So again, let's do the inner brackets first. I have -6 times by 2. Well, -6 times by 2 is going to give me 6 times 2 is 12, negative times a positive, negative. Okay, now I'm going to write the rest that I have here. Divide by, he's acting up here, -3. So -12 divided by -3. Well, let's just do the numbers first. 12 divided by 3 is going to give me 4. And then a negative divided by a negative, that's going to give me a positive. So that's my answer, +4. Alright, so number 17. Okay, so here we have two brackets that we're dealing with. In this first bracket we have -8 subtract by -2, and then that's divided by another set of brackets which has -5 subtract by 1. So let's work with this first bracket here, this -8 subtract by -2. So again, we have another subtraction, and again what you have to do is you have to switch the subtraction into an addition. And then you switch the sign of the second integer. So you see here, second integer is being -2, so it's a negative, we're going to change to a positive. So now we're dealing with -8 add by +2. Now looking at this, signs are different. I have a negative and a positive, so I have to find the difference between the two numbers. 8 and 2, well, 8 subtract by 2 is 6. And then I take the sign of the bigger number. The bigger number is this -8, so this 8. So looking at the sign, it's a negative, so now my answer is -6. Okay. Now we'll look at this guy over here, this bracket right here. We have a -5 subtract by 1. Okay. So again, we have a subtraction, so I'm going to first put a bracket around this 1. Okay, put both of my numbers in brackets, and I know that this 1 is a positive 1. Okay, so now I'm going to switch the signs. So instead of being subtraction, it's going to turn into an addition, and instead of an addition, I'm just going to write over here, it's going to become a subtraction. So then now I'm looking at negative 5 add by negative 1. Well, signs are the same, so when signs are the same, you could, you keep the sign and then you just add the two numbers. So 5 and 1 will give me 6, and then keep the sign, so negative 6. So here I have now negative 6 divided by negative 6. Okay, so let's just do the numbers first. 6 divided by 6, that's 1. And then negative divided by negative, so signs are the same. Answer is positive. So here's my answer right there. Okay, so last one, 18. I have here in this bracket negative 4 times by 2. Well, that's going to give me, I'm going to just actually write it up here. It's going to give me negative 8. Because 4 times by 2 is 8. Negative times a positive is a negative. Then working this guy out here, 2 minus 6. I'm going to actually write this one out here. It's 2, put in a bracket right there, minus positive 6. Okay, so again, when you do subtraction, you are going to change the subtraction into an addition, and then you're going to change the sign of the second integer and switch it. So it was a positive, now I'm making it into a negative. So now I have positive 2 add by negative 6. Signs are different, so I have to take the difference between 6 and 2, so the difference is 4. And then you take the sign of the bigger number. So 2 and 6, between the two, the bigger number is 6, so that sign is negative. So this here works out to negative 4. So I'm going to rewrite what I have here. I have negative 8 divided by negative 4. Now let's work with just the numbers. 8 divided by 4 is 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So my answer is just positive 2, which is right here.